So what are my secrets for hiring based on the multiple failures that I've made hiring? Because hiring and firing, I guess, is the essence of any small business. It's your people are your currency, and often the people that aren't right for your organization are, and I guess especially if you aren't proactive about solving those issues, the cause of many failures within the business. So it's kind of a cascading or domino effect.
Finding people who have the right culture is, to me, the most critical feature of any interview process. Now the question is, how do you identify culture? How do you identify culture fit? So we're very tough on them. We look for tenacity, we look for passion, we look for people who are happy to, in the interview process, give us healthy, heated debate. I will often make people feel very uncomfortable and see how they react. A simple trick. I ask people what their worst quality about themselves is, which is quite a common question. So that's not the unique part. And what I love is very often people make the mistake of looking for a positive and making it into, so I hear things like, my worst quality is I'm a perfectionist. Or my worst quality is, I don't suffer fools lightly. And my first thing is that is not a bad quality, and you know it. So don't even waste my time. If you're going to carry on along this trajectory, this interview is over. I want to know what your real bad quality is. And all of a sudden, eyes widen, and they think, and they shuffle, and their response will determine way more than their CV whether I'd be open to hiring them or not.
So what have I learned? I've learned that you cannot hire someone based on a single interview. So as much as it is easy to lie on a CV, I think it's also quite easy to put forward a particular facade, impression, or impression in a single interview. Similarly, if some poor soul is having a bad day on the interview day when you meet with them, you could miss out on seeing their best characteristics. So we try and, as far as possible, interview twice, but with two separate people, so we get two different perspectives.
What's happened over the years is that I've become a lot more detail-orientated around the hiring. So we use a combination of psychometric tests. We get multiple people to interview them at different times, so we all see different types of things that we may or may not pick up. And sometimes we like to test them on the job where possible. A combination of these things will hopefully make for a better decision. Sometimes in the end I still feel it still bloody comes down to luck.
One of the valuable lessons we learned was it's really driven by individuals. Essentially, hiring someone based on who they are is so much more important than potentially the experience that they have or their tertiary education or qualifications or whatever they may be, because they need to carry your brand. They need to embody the same service and feelings that you would. We got it right once or twice. We got it wrong a lot of times as well.
Well, in the process of interviewing individuals for my business, it's absolutely imperative that I actually have an understanding within the industry of who are the best in terms of consultants and on distribution level. So my sole responsibility is to have a very thorough understanding of who works for the competitors, and I generally try and recruit individuals from competitors who have built up a very good reputation in the industry.
I do think that one of the great benefits of this social media uprising is that we can view networks that have always existed, or view connections that have always existed, but that we could never see before. So the idea that I can take a potential CV, type that name into LinkedIn or into Facebook or look them up on Twitter and see who we are also connected to, see those mutual connections that I never would have been able to identify in an interview, and then ask for references around that person. That has been profoundly useful to us, and I think has informed many decisions that we've made around hiring, both for and against.